It's on.
Yes. Okay, so I just had to take this time to do an interview with you. I know this was not your idea, it was mine, but I had to do it because I believe that it's going to be a tremendous blessing to somebody. Matter of fact, not just somebody, I think it's going to bless a lot of people. So I just got some general questions. Well,
Okay.
honestly, some
Let's go.
specific questions that I want to ask you.
All right.
And those who are watching the video, as you can see, she is a graduate.
Yeah.
Well, she's graduated several times before, but she walking down the stage and doing it officially
Yeah.
and everything. Was it special? Was today special?
It was such a special weekend altogether. It was a very emotional and
Yeah.
a very special day. I just being on campus, being with my professors, being with other students that were graduating. The atmosphere was electric. Everybody was so happy and congratulatory, and people that you don't know personally, you just know them. It's kind of like when the Bulls won. It's like everybody's honking and, hey, what's your degree in? What'd you study? We did this, and
Did you just do a Bulls reference? You must be from the Shy.
believe it.
So it was just a joyful
Believe it.
environment.
It was
yeah.
such a joyful environment, an environment filled with energy and expectation for what's to come, and excitement for completing something that we set out to do.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
It was truly amazing.
Well, everybody doesn't know you, so they're gonna see the video and they may see it on some of our other platforms. So tell everybody who you are and what school you just graduated from and what degree you just got, all that other stuff, all that good stuff.
My name is Priscilla Diane Coffey, and I just graduated from Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, and I absolutely love my school. I'm telling you. My degree is in pastoral counseling, crisis response, and trauma. It's a master's degree.
Come on, say that one more time, because I know somebody missed it. What is the degree in again?
I just got a master's degree in pastoral counseling, crisis response, and trauma.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dig into that a little bit in the interview, but before I do that, what other degrees do you have? And like, what's your other degrees?
Yeah.
And what's your minors, or all that good stuff?
Yeah. So I have an associate's in general studies. I have a bachelor's. This is all from Liberty University.
Okay.
I have a bachelor's in psychology and crisis counseling, with a minor in religion.
Okay.
No, a minor in evangelism.
Ah.
Yeah, and then I continue to get the master's in pastoral counseling, crisis response, and trauma, all from Liberty.
Wow.
All from Liberty.
Okay, so obviously this has been a journey for you, but I kind of want to go back a little bit, and I want to ask you the question, because this may be a question that a lot of people have, and I know you're not afraid to kind of delve into it.
Yeah.
Why did you, like, after high school, why didn't you just go at that moment and go all the way into school and finish all your degrees in? Like, what was going on in your life? What happened?
Well, actually, right out of high school, I had a child. So my first son, Malcolm, was born, and I had decided I had scholarships and different things to go to school, and I thought I wanted to go into nursing.
Okay.
But I decided to wait a year and work and raise this baby a little bit. And so probably I would say in maybe not even a year's time, I just I was working. So I worked. I took up a trade. So I became a nursing assistant. And I worked hard. And I went to a community college for a little bit, but I didn't continue there. And so in my journey with school, I would try every now and again, got married, had more babies, all that kind of good stuff. And so, so I tried community colleges twice.
Okay.
2 different times. And I I did some classes and I did well in them. It was just I couldn't continue. It just wasn't the right timing for me. I'm guessing, with my babies and life and work and different things like that. And sometimes it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So as life, went on, I began to the kids were older, so I had more freedom. For you, I'm talking like I'm not talking to you, the love of my life, my husband.
Okay, for those who are watching this interview, I'm doing an interview, but I'm also the husband. I am the husband. Somebody's probably like, man, like, who's she talking to? Why is she looking at him like that? Why is she looking at the interviewer like that?
Well, my husband, y'all.
So going back really quick, I think I find this interesting. You did well in the community colleges that you attended.
Yeah.
But at that particular time, did you feel like you knew exactly what you wanted to do? Like,
no.
Was it clear, like, what you were even going to school for? Like, as far as, like, you knew for sure. Was it clear?
No, not at all. Well, I thought it was because, like I said, I picked up a trade and I was a nursing assistant. So I was a CNA. So I was certified to do that. And I love taking care of people.
Love caring for people.
So I really enjoy taking care of elderly people. People, I ended up taking care of people with who were developmentally disabled, things like this. So this is the kind of path that I was going down, just caring for people, and ended up kind of in the mental health arena, doing things like that, working in group homes, nursing homes. So between those two things, supervising and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, oh, you sown seed in this area. Yeah. And I thought, I felt like, I wanted to be a nurse. I really felt like I wanted to be a nurse, like in an emergency room or on an ambulance, work as an emergency worker on an ambulance or something.
EMT,
I remember I wanted to be an EMT because I felt like I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more. I wanted to help people in crisis situations, and because I had been helping them in the field of kind of nursing, as a CNA, then I thought that would be the natural thing for me to do. Right. And I wasn't afraid to do that. And I knew that in emergency situations that I could be calming to people, I could be soothing to people. And I love to comfort people and to be with people as they were going through stuff and help them through it. And so that was my only thought process around that, is that, okay, I need to be a nurse or I need to be an emergency care worker. So I thought that would fit. And so the reason that I ended up going the path that I was going is because I got into chaplaincy. And when I was in Mankato, Minnesota, I was chaplaining at Mayo Clinic Health Systems at the hospital. And my nephew committed suicide, and that was
devastating. Man, devastating.
Rocked my world. Rocked my world. The Lord had blessed me so much to care for people in difficult situations. During that time, we have been strong in ministry for many, many years. We had been up until that point where I had been counseling people and walking with people during a lot of different things in life. But when that hit me, it completely rocked my world.
There was no words, no answers, no nothing.
No, it wasn't. It was so hard. And I remember I went in to chaplain at the hospital, and the regional chaplain, he just came to me and he said, "Chaplain Priscilla, how you doing?" He knew about what happened. And he said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Not that good, And he said, "How's your sister doing?" I said, "Chaplain Gary, she's not doing so good." And what he said to me was, if you could get her to exercise, if you could get her to just take a walk, it would help her functioning. It would help her to be able to eat a little better, sleep a little better, because not only is she dealing with the crisis of her son, passing away in that extreme manner, she's also dealing with a chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Like
what?
what?
I felt like those cartoons when the light bulb comes on
Yeah,
in your
yeah, yeah,
head,
yeah.
I felt like he gave me $1 million,
Yeah.
because I knew right then that God had always blessed me to be able to walk with people spiritually.
Right.
Amazing
Yeah.
to be able to bless people and to be with them and to help them through really hard things.
Praying, encouraging scriptures, all the good, all everything. Yeah.
But I knew that I needed to marry
There was
the
more.
spiritual things with the practical things. I said, Lord, I need to know how to help people better,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's when I decided to go back to school.
Wow.
I said, I needed to know this. What he just said,
Yeah.
that's what I need. I needed to know this. I need to be able to walk people through the things like what I'm going through right now. I want to be with people spiritually and practically.
Yeah.
And I decided to go back to school.
Wow.
And it was amazing because when I looked at Liberty's degree programs, I saw that they had crisis and trauma, like crisis stuff to teach you about that. So when I first started, I went into psychology and crisis counseling. So I was like, whoa, as I was pursuing that degree, when I had gotten so many credits, I was like, I could get my associates now. So I was like, oh, let me snatch that. I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Right.
And so, I got the general, that's why that's general education, but I was pursuing my bachelor's in psychology and crisis counseling. And it was so amazing. I had no idea I would love it so much.
Did you feel like you were like a door was open to a whole new world? Like,
I did.
Did you feel like it was just like, oh my goodness, like
I
need this?
Oh, I felt like God was bringing so much understanding to me. I felt like, and the amazing thing is that I was able to apply the things that I was learning as I was learning them, because I was still counseling the people for ministry in church.
Right.
And so as I'm helping them and being with them, and they're dealing with life's challenges, people, they're dealing with grief, and they're dealing with loss, and they're dealing with familial problems and marital distress, and they're dealing with all of these relational distress. They're dealing with anxiety, depression, they're dealing with all of these different things, then I'm able to walk with them, giving them godly principles, praying with them, being with them, and able to give them practical application of some things that they can do and apply to their lives to help them to get through what they're going through and not think that they're crazy.
Right. And I think that's what you said is so good, because it's one of those things where it's like, me and you both being ministers and pastors and serving people, we know the power of God. We know the power of prayer.
Yes.
We know the power of scripture.
Yeah.
We know what God can do with the power of prophecy, all these things.
Oh,
right?
yes.
But after we've ministered to a person spiritually, a lot of times, I believe it's in great wisdom, because Jesus would do this.
Absolutely.
He would minister to people, but he would give parables to make sure that they really understood the point he was trying to drive home. So he cared that people not only got it. It wasn't just about the deliverance part. It was also about empowerment, so that a person could continue to live free.
Exactly.
Instead of it just being a temporary emotional high of freedom, like where they're like, okay, I feel free, but not really having the tools necessary to live in freedom. So I think that's really good.
You said it. I find that when I'm caring for and ministering to people in ministry in the church and stuff, a lot of times they'll take the word of God, or they'll take something that they heard in a sermon and to apply to their lives. And they're caught up in the emotion of it.
Right.
And they don't take practical steps to pursue that healing, that deliverance, those different things. Most times they feel like they're not operating in faith when they look to do practical things.
Right.
But James said faith without works is dead being alone.
Right.
But they don't, it's
it seems unspiritual, ungodly almost.
yes,
If it
yes.
seems if it's too natural or normal or practical. Yeah,
Yes,
I know what you mean.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. And so, what I found is people find it refreshing when they come to me and we're able to pray, to seek God,
yeah,
to find the word, to go through
yeah,
the scripture, and I'm able to say, okay, so we know what God wants for
yeah,
us pertaining to this particular thing,
yeah.
and then I'm able to give them some practical application
Application. Yeah.
and some steps that they some tools and some
Hmm.
tips, some things that they can do to care for them, to take good care of
Yeah.
themselves while they are being healed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
You
good.
know,
That's good. That's good.
while God's doing something new and amazing and
Yeah.
restorative in their lives.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. I do.
That's so amazing because it reminds me of a kind of, and I've seen you do this before. We've worked together in ministry doing different things,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're gonna pray for immediate deliverance.
Yes.
We love God and we trust Him, and we've seen God do some immediate things, right?
Absolutely.
But it sounds like what you're saying is that your education has allowed for you to be able to give some tools,
Yeah.
um, and some things that are not only just tools that have been given from a from an educational standpoint, but it's also principles that are also in scripture. So it's not like
Yes.
it's some random thing from out the air. It's
Yes.
like, okay, if there's not immediate deliverance, here are some things that we can do practically to work towards that freedom. Some things that can be walked out. So I think that's amazing. I think that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And I love that you said that because it's not that you have to be spiritual or you have to be practical.
Right.
No, not at all.
Right.
And sometimes I know that people feel like when you're educated, like that's a worldly thing.
That's what they think, right? Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's not a worldly thing.
Right.
It's wisdom that has been given.
Yeah.
We've been blessed to have. We've all been blessed to be able to have wisdom, to have knowledge, from God, and what He reveals to us through whatever means is a blessing to us.
Yeah.
Understanding the human body, understanding the brain, understanding all of these different things, doctors, and all of these, different things. Is a gift to all humankind,
Absolutely.
that we are able to utilize the wealth of knowledge that they've been exposed to and that God has blessed them to have so that we can all live better and more fuller and healthier lives.
Amen. Amen. That's good. Well, I'm really excited for you. I'm so excited just to be doing this interview, and I have some more questions. So is that okay if we go a little bit further?
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned about like why you didn't go to college right away out of high school. One of my questions is, what would you say to that individual that is on a similar path that you are on, meaning that maybe they had kids, maybe they were a single mom, or maybe they went through a divorce, or maybe they went through a really hard time and they had plans to go to school, but a year went by, then 3 years went by, then 5 years went by, and they kind of feel like, man, maybe I shouldn't even do it, or maybe it's too late for me. What would you say to that person?
Okay, first of all, in my graduating class today, the oldest person in my graduating class was 87 years old.
Oh, wow.
Tell me something.
What?
87 years old. The youngest was 17. The oldest was 87.
Oh, my goodness.
It's never too late.
Wow.
I was blown away. Myself, I was blown away. But
Wow.
I would say to the person who has really been trying and wanting to pursue some educational goals, it's okay. Don't give up. It may not be the season at this moment. We have different seasons of our life, and you'll find out that during different seasons of your life, things unfold differently.
Yeah.
So right now, if like when I was a single mom, I needed to be a mom.
Yeah.
I needed to be a mommy and to work. And that's what I did during that time. And when I had help, then I got a couple classes in.
Shout out to Highland.
Shout out to Highland. Shout out to Ember Hills.
Right,
you know,
right. Yeah.
When I had a little help, I did that. But don't feel bad when you have to stop.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Don't feel like you're a quitter. You finish nothing. You know, I used to battle with that. Like, I'm just not a finisher. I haven't finished yet.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't work out for certain times. And if you need to stop right now, it's okay.
Yeah.
Keep on living. Keep on pursuing. Don't ever give up on your goals or your dreams. But live where you are right now. Mm-hmm. And that's good and that's okay and it's right because during different seasons of our life, they require different things and you can't get that time back.
Right.
You know, with your children, that's important, you know, so it's okay. I know that I have people in my life and in my family that have been in school for a very long time. And sometimes they mess with us. People mess with us and call us forever students. Mm-hmm. But that's a forever learning. You're continuing to build yourself up, to learn, to gain knowledge, to pursue goals. And we should always be that, no matter if we're in school or not. Right. I would say to you, just don't feel bad about whatever season that you're in. Continue, because how old was I? Well, first of all, I'm 43 right now, getting my master's. It took a while, y'all.
You did it.
It took a while, but when that time opened up for me, my children were older, and I had my amazing husband, who was very supportive, and I had a lot of support when I would be working and grinding and grinding those papers out and doing those tests and up late at night and doing all this kind of stuff and couldn't participate in some stuff because I was really busy. I had all the support that I needed for that time in my life. Like, I had support. I remember, you know, there's times when I'm grinding and up in the room doing work and the whole family would be like grilling or having movie night or whatever, and you be cooking and you cook for everybody and then you bring me something to eat while I'm upstairs working. That was a grind time in my life, but I had the support that I needed to be able to do it.
That's awesome. And I want to say this too, because I know you probably wouldn't bring this up. When you started, you went for it. So like, you know, a lot of people don't know this. You're walking on the stage right now, but you actually graduated last year. You really graduated last year. You're just walking this year. Yeah, but you graduated last year. And you, in a span of from 2013 all the way to 2018, which is 5 years, you got your associates, your bachelor's, and your master's.
I did.
So to get your associates, your bachelor's, and your master's in 5 years is amazing. Like, I mean, I know, like, people don't even realize like how, and I know you probably didn't see it that way either, but I mean, think about that. And I wasn't
doing nothing like taking
you weren't taking
crazy amount of classes or nothing like that.
No,
it was just consistent. I worked. I did summer classes. I did fall. I did spring, summer. No, I did summer, fall, and winter classes. So I went all year round. And doing that, but
you was killing. I'm so proud of you. Oh my goodness!
I just jumped in there and started grinding.
Yes,
but man, I couldn't have did it without y'all. The support and the love and the encouragement. When I was feeling overwhelmed, I had a lot of support.
What would you say to a spouse, whether a husband or a wife, that their spouse is working? Because I know that one of the things I try to do is to never make you feel bad about like what you weren't able to do in this season because you were really focused on schoolwork. Yeah. Like, what would you say to a spouse that has a spouse as a student? What would you suggest that they do to just to encourage them and so on and so forth?
I can tell you what was a blessing for me. I think that would be a good question for you, because you're the one that lived that, being a support to a person in school. That's kind of crazy, right? Because it's really grind time.
Yeah.
I mean, them papers keep coming, them
Yeah.
tests keep rolling.
Oh yeah.
But I know that you were a huge support to me, in that, like you said, not making me feel bad, really being an encouragement to me. You looked out for me when it came to, when I knew I needed to shut down and grind and get some stuff done. You created space for me, and that you wouldn't, you'd be like, okay, go ahead, do what you got to do. I'm going to. You kind of shielded me, like, oh yeah, she's going to do this, I'm going to do this, but I'll represent you, as you're doing this. I'll let everybody know you said hi, so I didn't feel that pressure, like I needed to be going to whatever function it was.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, you would help me, by looking out for the kids, looking out for me, cooking and doing things like that. That was a help in our house.
Right.
That was a help for me. Also, when I felt overwhelmed, like, this is huge for me.
Yeah.
And times when I felt overwhelmed, when I had so much due at, sometimes I would come to you and just be like, honey, I need your help. I got this assignment due, that assignment due, this assignment coming, this assignment, and I have these tests. Please help me organize my thoughts. What should I do first? How do I lay this out? And because you were outside of the situation, you weren't feeling that pressure, and it was so much easier for you to look at the full picture. You just be like, okay, so what you got? Okay, so do this, do that. Won't you try this and do that and do that? And yeah, that's it. You're great. You would just be like the pressure eliminator for me. And that was just such a blessing. You would bring so much ease, to my life, and I could just like breathe easy. Stuff that I'd be all worked up about. I got these papers, this test, this whatever. And you'd be like, it's okay. Honey, you're already doing the work of ministry.
Yeah.
I know you're in school. I know you're this, but you're living this already.
Yeah.
It's okay. And so every chance that you got, you would do things that would remove stress and remove pressure from me, which allowed me to function so much better as a student and as a person, as a wife, as a mother, as a friend, as a person in who care for other people in ministry. It just made me better overall because I could breathe. You send me funny videos. You were just an amazing help to me.
Oh, you're so sweet. You got me over here grinning and carrying on. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I know. I feel like you should be wearing this hat.
No.
I'm gonna give you this honor cord because you deserve it.
No, I asked you the question because I guess I want every family to know that it's a partnership when somebody in the family decides to go back to school. The husband, whether it's the husband or the wife, it's a partnership, and it's a family decision, not just an individual decision.
Yeah.
When either the husband or the wife decides to go back to school, it's a family decision, and they need to be there for one another. So I just thought that I would have
it's
you share
really
that
not
a
an
little bit.
effort that you do alone when you're not alone.
When you're not alone, you don't do it alone when you're not alone. That's
Don't
right.
do it alone when you're not alone.
That's right.
When you have a family and a husband, or a wife, you stay connected to your family.
Yeah.
So one of my professors, I believe it was
You're going into one of my next questions.
go ahead, ask your question. Ask your
No,
question.
it's okay. It's okay. It's so funny because some of the questions I've had set aside to ask you, you've been answering them along the way. So
I have.
it's working out good. No, it's perfect. It's perfect. I was going to ask you, what is one of your favorite moments in being at Liberty University, and one of your favorite moments with one of your professors, like what was an impactful moment is what I was going to ask you.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'll share what I was gonna share then. Two things. First of all, the thing that I love most about Liberty is that they have a genuine love for Jesus.
Can't beat that.
They love Jesus.
Yeah.
They love Jesus in the place. I know. I've been there for 5 years, and consistently, I'm saying,
Yeah.
over this time period. I know it seems like it's unreal. It has to me over all this time seemed unreal, but the people that I encounter, even on the phone, all of that, genuinely love Jesus.
Yeah.
And then it was fun because when I was on campus, I saw that love, that
Yeah.
same love. I
Yeah.
experienced that same love, and I'm like, God,
Yeah.
I knew it was real because I know you.
Right.
And then now I'm seeing what I felt, and it is real.
Yeah.
I knew it was real, but it's still amazing.
Yeah.
And so the amazing thing that they stand for is that they invest in people. They invest in people's relationship with God and how they're going to apply that in their life. How they're going to go out into the world and be champions for Jesus.
Yeah.
In whatever that they're going to do in anywhere in the world, in anything that they're doing. That is the core of what Liberty does, train up champions for Christ. It's not an educational institution that's all about investing educational things into a person.
Mm-hmm.
Their education is par excellence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent level of education, but they know that they have to reach deeper than the surface of just the education.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was in school, I remember I was doing math, history, science, my generals,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought out Jesus in every single class.
They brought Jesus in
I'm
math
like,
class. That's all right.
How am I learning about Jesus in math? What is
Science too.
I'm learning about Jesus and stuff. I'm learning about Jesus. I'm learning about clouds, the name of the actual clouds. I'm learning about mountains and rocks, and I'm learning about Jesus. They're bringing out, Jesus and how the world was formed, and and proving, that this was not the Big Bang Theory. Like, I'm learning all kinds of amazing things about the Lord, in basic everyday and classes that I wouldn't even imagine. History, that I wouldn't even imagine. Like, how are we talking about Jesus right now? Right? So the story that I was going to tell was about Dr. Gutierrez. So I was doing a class, and so he says, if you get a C in this class and an A in life, you've succeeded.
Wow. Say it one more time.
If you gotten a C in this class and an A in life, you will have succeeded.
Wow.
I was blown away. Like, did he really just say that? He want me to get... You just say, I want you to get a C in my class and an A in life?
Right. That's a big statement for you because you were an honor student. So it's like you hadn't seen
that
the
was
C.
tough. I hadn't seen the C. That was tough. That was tough for me, but it did something in my heart.
It gripped you, yeah.
It really did, because you can't, like I said before, you can't get that time back with your family. You can't not.
Right.
He was impressing into our hearts that to be present.
Be present, yeah.
Don't be all locked up all the time in your room. Like, there are grind times.
Right.
But, like, being present with your family and with the things that you're doing in life is important, because, like, this breath that God has given us, we have it right now. We don't know what we're going to have in the next minute.
Yeah.
So that's an investment into a person, not just investing educational things into them. That's investing life and the love of Jesus into the heart of people. And that's what I get from Liberty. Anytime. I'm a busy person just like everybody else. But when I would sit down and start doing my homework, it was always a deep soul searching.
It's more than academic.
It's way more than academic. It was such a blessing. It was always refreshing when I finally made myself sit down and really start doing my work. It was always refreshing to my soul.
Yeah. That's such a blessing. So let me ask you this question really quick. obviously today was your full experience being on campus and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
What did you notice about the people who were working, the professors you
Yeah.
encountered, the workers? Like, what did you notice about the atmosphere of Liberty? Like, what was your experience like?
It was first of all, aesthetically, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
It was clean. It was pristine. It
yeah,
was gorgeous, and the people were kind, and they embrace you. They look out for you.
hmm
So people, all kind of people would come up and ask if you needed
hmm
anything. They were on point
yeah,
to give you direction, to show you what to do next, and everything was right there. So you didn't even
hmm
have to ask a lot of questions. Um, and then it was like all hands on deck. Like so, we experienced an IT worker driving a golf cart, picking up people from their cars, driving them to the different
yeah,
buildings, and there were golf carts all over the place. And they weren't for just people who had trouble walking; it was for anyone
yeah,
and their any of the graduates and their families. They were picking us up at
yeah,
one building, dropping us off at another. Would you like a ride? This like
yeah.
it's a long way over to that building, or this it's around the corner. It's on the
Yeah.
other side of the
It's
building. I'll
kindness.
drive you
Yeah,
over there. They were so kind, so they were present with you. You know that they were busy because it was a lot of people, but when they stopped to talk to you, they were present in the moment with you,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
amazing. That's priceless.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed that people may not see this in it, but it's a big deal to me. That our entire time on campus with thousands of people, like I think over the weekend it was like over 18,000 people. Like it was a
Oh,
ridiculous amount of
like
people.
20.
So what I noticed is the entire time we walked around, I didn't see a piece of paper on the ground.
It was
Yeah,
clean.
so that means that everybody committed to doing their job, like
Yes.
as one team. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's
Yes.
amazing, and
Yes.
it also means that the people that were present, that there were people who were like, you know what,
They cared
maybe this is
enough.
not my job, but I'm picking this piece of paper up. I'm picking this
Yes.
garbage up, and
Yes.
I mean, it was phenomenal. And then the kindness and the generosity,
It was
and
amazing.
oh, you know what? Oh, and this was not even. So tell them about what happened, like the encounter that we had with the couple here at the resort that we're
Oh
staying at.
my
They have
goodness.
some kids that are graduating from Liberty.
Yeah, they have family that was going to be graduating this weekend. And so here at the resort, and we run into this family out here, and we just started. Just basically, we were going to get something to eat, and they were coming from getting something to eat. So we started just being friendly, talking about food,
Yeah.
and we ended up talking about ministry, talking about Jesus, talking about his calling on our lives, and basically how we're going to go out into the world and do how we're doing
Yes.
different things and doing what God has put in our hearts to do. And we ended up talking to them for about what would you say, about 45
Yeah,
minutes,
about an hour, 45 minutes, an
standing
hour.
outside in the same spot. It was getting dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was amazing. But this is like, we didn't know them before that moment, but God touched their hearts to sow into our life.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. They just met
Amazing.
us. Yeah.
My heart was so filled. Relationship gained, like we're exchanging
Now we're
numbers.
connected. Yeah.
Such a divine
Appointment, no doubt.
connection
Yeah.
and a divine appointment. We're praying for one another. And I just love that,
Yeah.
just being able to listen to God, to hear from God, and to move and do what He's put in your heart to do. Just connecting with your brothers and sisters in Christ, just connecting with people to display the love of God,
Yeah.
in lives all over that's our heart,
Yeah.
that's my modus operandi. I just wanna serve.
Yeah. And one thing that I wanted to say, I didn't want this point to get lost, is that you talked about how Liberty was excellent.
Yes.
It reminds me of you, and you probably had no idea I was going to share this part, but it reminds me of you because it's like you always have a desire to operate with excellence,
Yeah.
but you're unapologetically Christian, like, and that's
Oh
what
yeah.
Liberty represents. So it's like you
For
can be
sure.
you can be on fire and faithful to Jesus and love the Lord with all your heart
Yeah.
and do things well. And I want this to serve as just kind of a challenge and an encouragement to Christians that are in the entertainment industry,
Yeah.
Christians that are in music, Christians that are doing engineering work, Christians that are mechanics. We as believers have to do things well with
Yeah.
excellence
Yeah.
and still unapologetically be faithful
Yes.
Christians and dedicated to the Lord. So it's like you can be both. Like you can put together an amazing movie and still, be a Christian and do things with
Yes.
excellence. You can start a business
Yes.
and be a Christian and do it with excellence.
Excellence.
We want our name to be not only to represent Christ, but to be synonymous with excellence as
That's
well.
right. That's
So
right.
I thought that was special as well. And so I'm just excited about what took
Yeah.
place, and I'm encouraged. I want to tell you, just as you are the love of my life, and I want to say that you've encouraged me over the years. Just your tenacity, your perseverance,
Yeah.
your persistence, your drive, your go get it done. We've had so many moments where, there will be times, and I just a brief story. I remember when the first time I started a cleaning business, it was 1999. I want to say right after I graduated high school. I just wanted to try it. And I remember trying it, and I went to this lady's house, and it was just such a horrific situation. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be in the cleaning business anymore. So after that one time, I gave up like right away. And I remember when we got married, you were like, didn't you mention you had a cleaning business before?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And you were like, let's just do it. Like, let's just do it. And you always like that. You're always
Yeah.
like, let's just go for it. Let's just do it. And so
Why not?
you've encouraged me. And this moment right here, you deserve so much honor for this. And so I'm going to tell you over and over and over and over and over again this weekend, the days to come, how proud I am of you,
Thank you.
because you put in the work. I mean, you put in the work. I watched it. I witnessed it. Like I seen you put in the work, and you're just an amazing student. I know that it was a pleasure for every teacher to be able to have you as a student. So I'm excited about that, and I'm just looking forward to. I'm hoping that maybe you might do a little teaching on the side, because Liberty, as a Liberty grad, you probably got first dibs at all of that and stuff. So
We'll see.
we'll see, right? But the other thing is this, and I'm all energetic and excited, but I really want to kind of want to hit a serious moment for you for a second, and that's this: if any of our children desire to continue their education or to go back to school, what would you tell them? What insight or wisdom would you give them as it pertains to, if they're hanging in a balance and they're scared or afraid to go to school, but they want to? What would you tell any of our children or any other kid that's out there? What would be your encouragement to them?
I would encourage them to do it. If it's in their heart um, to do it,
Yeah,
you know, live, do it. It's gonna, there are certain things that you gain when you're a student. I think that we should probably all be forever students, and that we're always learning.
yeah,
Um, but there is a drive that you get, a stick to itness
yeah,
that you get, because I could have quit
yeah,
permanently. Like I could have just stopped and not gone back, but I didn't. By the grace of God and by, you know, the support systems that I had. And I thank God for that. I thank God that I persevered. I was able to do that. But it's opened so many doors in my mind and in my heart that can never be taken away from me. It's given me so much. My heart is full.
yeah,
My heart is full. Um, Even today, even at graduation, I felt like I was commissioned
yeah,
again
yeah,
today to go
yeah.
and serve the Lord.
Wow.
Take what's been given to you, and this isn't the end, but this is the beginning.
Yeah,
Continue in what God has instilled on the inside of you. As that's what I feel like I was given. Continue,
yeah,
serve God with what you have. Pursue more. Go for it. Go do it. And that's what I would say. That's what I would say to our children. Don't let anything stop you. pursue God,
Yeah.
pursue the best. You know, don't try to take the easy way out.
Right. Right.
Don't try to take shortcuts.
Right.
Go through the
Go
process.
through the process. That's good.
I think that we're afraid to go through the process. A lot of times, you know, we'll do the thing that'll be quickest,
Yeah.
that'll be easiest.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go the easy way, then there's only so much that you can do.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you go through the full process, then it opens up so many doors for you to be able to do what is in your heart to do. You know, you're not barely making it by if you don't if you really pursue and endure and go through the process. There's something to be said and something to be gained when you go through hard stuff.
Yeah.
It strengthens you.
Yeah.
It makes you stronger. It makes you better. It makes you more resilient. You know, you get that bounce back ability.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
like
when you're able to go through something that's hard. We've all faced really hard things in life that we thought was going to destroy us. But because it did not destroy us,
Yeah.
we have more strength because of having gone through it. And there is going through things like that and the strength that you gain from it, the wisdom that you gain from it, the tenacity that you gain from it, you can get it from nowhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get it from nowhere else. You can't get it from a book. You can't get it from listening to something. You can only get it by going through it. And so I want to encourage people. You can't get something that you can only gain through going through the process from any other way.
Yeah.
Go through the process and
Yeah.
see what God will do.
Yeah.
That's what I would encourage everybody to do.
Yeah. So there's a couple different things that fireworks going off right on time because it's a celebration. I think that the one thing I wanted to kind of bring about or kind of close out the interview with is your you talked about sticking to it and everything, and also the place that you're in right now and how God has prospered you. He's caused you to flourish. You have your masters and you God has just blessed you abundantly and so much more is on the horizon. And there are people who know you now and they only know you based upon where you are now.
Right.
And so I kind of want to I want to touch on something, and I have one final question for you.
Okay.
A lot of people, they see where you are now, people in ministry, people who are like, they see you flourishing, whether it's educationally or whether it's in business or whether it's in speaking engagements or in family or as a wife. They see you winning. They like, oh man. A lot of times they see you and they're like, man, # goals. Like, I want to be like you, right? But they don't realize that you didn't come from a perfect family situation. You didn't come from a 2-person household. You didn't have a father around or your mom, who passed away, who you love dearly. And I'm going to ask you a question about that in just a moment. But people assume that you came from a perfect situation. You weren't in church every day. You didn't have that, constant molding spiritually. There's so much that you didn't get necessarily. Not that you had a horrible situation, because your situation was possibly better than a lot of other people's situation. But you grew up on the south side of Chicago, and everybody knows that's not necessarily a place where people assume that wealth and prosperity and education is going to come out of. But so many things statistically that said that you shouldn't succeed, and that I shouldn't. It said you shouldn't be a graduate. You shouldn't. Have your degree. You shouldn't have and in some cases you shouldn't be alive. Yeah. You were a single mom. So all these things said that you shouldn't succeed. Yeah. But here you are today, flourishing. And so my last question is this: a lot of people don't know that your mom passed away when you were really little. Yeah. And you were 9, right? Yeah. When you were 9. My question is like what do you think she would say to you right now? Like, if she was here, what would you say to her? Like, what would you say to her if she was sitting right here with you? Like, I mean, because I know she's smiling down from
I
heaven.
don't know that there are words.
Yeah.
I don't know that there are words. Man. I was just thinking about it last night. That was a big ball of tears, you know. Um, and I started messaging my sisters and saying, "Oh my God, this is really happening. Like God has really done this in my life." Um, and I was like, I remember sitting in my office at home working on papers
Mm-hmm.
all in the night, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and taking tests and whatnot, and feeling overwhelmed. And I would look over at mommy's picture, and I would say, "Okay, I can do
I
this."
can do it.
And I would just feel like she smiled at me, and
Yeah.
it just gave me strength to push and to continue.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like, that being a motivation. Like I felt, I know my mom's with Jesus, and I know I felt that support. I just looking over at her picture, I just felt like she would be proud of me. I just
I
felt
know
like
she
she
would.
would be.
Yeah. Oh my
I just
goodness.
felt like she would be so
Yes.
proud of me.
Yes.
And my babies, like, I have notes. I would wake up in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and Kayla will have written me a little letter.
Mm-hmm.
"Mom, you're the best. Have a good day. I hope you do well on your homework,"
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
anything like little encouraging little love
Mm-hmm.
notes and letters,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff is so encouraging
Yeah.
and inspiring to me, and it would push me even to be a good example
Yeah.
for my children. Like, I can't quit. I want to keep going for me, but going for them
Yeah.
is so important to me,
Yeah.
because I want them to know that it doesn't matter if you feel like you're the smartest. I didn't feel like I was the smartest,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I'm not gonna quit.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was like all brilliant or nothing, but I felt like I'm not gonna quit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing this. I remember crying
Yeah.
through those math classes, working on problems working on a problem I would get stuck on for an hour.
Yeah. Shout out to
Like,
Femi. Shout
are
out to
you
Femi.
serious? Call Femi,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he'd be like 5 minutes, and he'll show me something that I missed, and I'd be like, "Are you serious right now?" But those were growing pains. I'm so happy I aced those classes.
Yes.
I'm so happy because I wouldn't quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wouldn't quit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no quit in me.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be any quit
Yeah.
in my children.
Yeah.
I don't want it to. I just want people to go after it.
Yeah.
If it's in your heart, and you believe that God will see you through that.
Mm-hmm.
That He's called you to it. If He's called you to it,
Mm-hmm.
He'll see you through it.
That's awesome. Well, I want to say I love you so much, beautiful. You are such a phenomenal, absolutely amazing, anointed, beautiful, as I call you, gorgelicious. You're just a phenomenal woman, such a great
you.
example to so
I
many.
love you.
We're on the heels and wheels of Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to
It
you.
is Mother's Day tomorrow.
Yeah. So you've been the most amazing mother to my children, and I know that that Malcolm, Krishan, Michaela, and Mariah are so proud of you. The Coffee family, Coffee kids are proud of you, and you've been a great example to all of us. And of course, House of Worship Church, I know they're proud of you. I know they're pushing for you. I've been watching the comments and stuff on Facebook.
Wow.
They've been just excited for
Amazing.
you and so proud of you. You represented
Amazing.
our city well. You represented the state well. You represented your family well. And most importantly, you represented God well.
Thank you.
And just been a great light for Jesus Christ. So thank you so much. Mwah. Kisses to
I
you.
love you.
Yeah. That's it. And the fireworks were going crazy, so it was like the grand
I
finale.
hope they can hear
It's
us.
like we haven't heard fireworks all weekend. All of a sudden, they like, let's get this party started. This Mother's Day tomorrow, right? Amen. So love you, beautiful, and thank you again for just sharing this time with us.
I
We
love you
appreciate it.
too.